Good morning, everyone. This is Paula, and today I thought we would play with some music sheets and paper pages. Now, of course, everyone is always trying to come up with something new. I don't know if this is new or not. I haven't seen it. I was just playing with my book pages and decided, I wanted to make something fun. So I decided to do a pouch. Now this is the pouch, nothing big, right? I just took 2 book pages, one on each side, and as you notice, they're on their side. They'll be this direction, okay? And what I did with these, I'm going to show you what I did, and then we'll move on to, as I got a little more creative as I went along. I just took a sheet of paper and decided how deep I wanted it. And then I made sure it was even on both sides and looked straight. And then I'd have it like this. And then I would glue this down. Okay, I actually used glitter glue to glue these edges down because I didn't want them to come up. And then later I thought, let's see if I can get my glitter glue to come out. It hadn't woke up yet. Come out of there. Okay, I'm going to try to move pretty fast with these so we can get a lot in. If you have any questions, if I go too fast and you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments below. Okay, so I just did like that. Okay, and I made 2 of these. So let me get one more. And whoops. I kind of prepped all my pages. I didn't want ragged edges for this. But I do want both pages to be the same size. So I kind of laid the one I made here like this and evened everything up. And then I just folded it over like this. And then I knew that I would have something the same size. Okay, now it might be slightly off, but it's not enough that it's noticeable because you're going to put the wrong sides together, and then you're going to see that it's the same. Okay, now for speed purposes, I'm going to use a glue stick at this point, but I kind of liked using a stronger glue, and then I didn't have to worry about it coming up since it's going to be the inside, right? And so I just put some glue on here, and then, because we're gonna stitch this down, okay? So it really is gonna be fine. And then you put them together, and what we do is, before we sew the sides, we stitch right here. Now, I'm going to be stitching with the zigzag for this video. Oh, let me start over here. I just entered the wrong thing. All right. I'm going to be doing zigzag on most of these. All right. And except when I start adding to them. Okay. And you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to run a stitch right here. Let me make sure you can see my sewing machine. This is going to be kind of wacky probably because it's got a lot of sewing, and don't want you guys to not be able to see. And I'm just going to sew up here. I don't want to get in too much of the glue. And I'm not back stitching or anything. I'm just sewing it. Okay. It's better for your machine if you let this stuff dry. So this is the first time I've used wet glue on my machine. Sorry, little lady. But time is at essence here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna cut these off. Now, if I were gonna use them for something real important, I'd probably I'd do the zigzag stitch to back stitch. Okay, now here's this one. And we're just gonna go across it real quick. Now, the neater you can do it, the better, of course. Just because I think it looks nicer to have a straighter line across the top especially. This is going to strengthen your book page if someone's going to be going in and out of this pouch, getting things in or getting things out. So you're going to put them together, okay? Just like that. And honestly, rethinking this, I think it would be better just to use your glue stick, because I forgot that the other one has a lot of water in it. And I thought about that. The glitter glue is more water-based, and it kind of ripples your page a little here. So just use a glue stick, because I ended up cutting this portion off some, but it's not really necessary if you glue it down. And because we're stitching it down, it's not really going to do much. Now, you are going to go around here, around the edge. Now, I did back stitch here because I didn't want that to rip open. And I stitched it to have corners like this. And I went a little too far just then, so my stitch is not going to be too beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to, it'll come back on here. It'll be a little crooked, but it's okay. And you just go around like this, and we'll be stitching several of these. I could have had them all stitched ahead of time, but to me, it's making them that is the, you know, the part that makes a difference. And they don't have to be perfect. If you like just ragged, crooked stitches, I say go for it. Now on these, I'm using a brown stitch, brown thread I mean, and I've done it with brown, I've done it with black. As you can see here, I did it with black. Now, what I did to give it a different look, and this, I'm so close to the edge here, I don't know how much good this will do. I trimmed down this side, and then when I got here, I went around, made it like a round corner, and trimmed it, but don't get too close because, you know, like I had to go off there. So you want to make sure that your stitching allows you to trim it off, okay? This one's pretty close, but I wanted to show you what I did with each of them. Okay, now let me move this garbage that we've got. So I decided I'm gonna go back to the black stitched one, not the one that we've got here, because this one's kind of wonky, but you get the gist of how we're doing it, right? Okay, so I'm going to set that one aside so it can dry. And I did different things as I went along. So we're going to make one out of music sheet. No, actually, let's make one more out of book page. And I'm going to show you something that you can do. You want to make sure you have text all the way down. You don't want broken up pages on the outside. I think it looks better if you have the full text, okay? Now, and you want them facing this as much the same direction as possible. I got that one upside down. I think it looks better if you do it that way. So that is up and that is up, okay? All right, so we're going to fold this over. Again, we're going to do it the same way, only this time we're going to do something different. And I'm going to fold it down it's about 1.5 inches. You can do however you want. I've done several different ways. And then remember, you're going to take this one right here. Let me see. It helped to have it the right direction. And then fold it over so you get the same size. Okay. Now, this time, rather than, I'm going to glue it real quick, rather than using just the book page, This time I'm going to, I'm going to sew something down on here. Okay, make it look a little different. And today I'm going to be using a digital that is really cool. Okay, first of all, and it's they're made by TaylorMade. Let me see here. TaylorMade Journals is her digital page, and this, she always has these cool sheets that you can know what's under here by what this sheet is. And I file with these. I love that she does this. Okay, now that one's upside down. This is set 4 and set 5 that I'm using of the grungy, antique grungy wallpaper. Okay, and so set 4 and set 5, and so of course she has sets 1 through 3, and I don't know if she has more than 5, but I wouldn't know for sure. I can't tell you for sure. So I'm going to use a few sheets from these two. Okay, and because I'm doing a sewing kit that I want to put some in. I'm starting to make ephemera for a sewing book, and I'll introduce you to that in another video. I won't have time today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paper, I'm going to take my trimmer, and I'm going to trim off what I need here. I'm going to trim off this blue trim, or blue edge here. And I don't know if I'm straight or not. Yeah. I've kind of got this cockeyed so you guys can see it. I have too much on my desk. What else is new, right? Okay, let me get this one cut down here. All right, now I'm going to cut about a little over an inch and a quarter. Let's do 1.25 inches. And let me make sure I got it nice and straight. Okay. It's about as straight. Well, good grief. Okay, I'm turning it sideways because I can't see it from the other angle. Sorry, guys. I hope everyone can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to cut 2 1.25 inch strips of this. Okay. And the kit that I'm, not the kit, but the paper I'm using is by Stamperia. And so it's blue and brown. It's blue and brown. So I'm going to use these blue ones. Okay, now I'm going to measure how much. I'm just going to cut this a little bit past each of these, okay? Doesn't have to be straight at this point. You just want to make sure you can sew down both of them. Okay, just like that. And toss the little pieces or put them in your scraps. Okay, now I'm going to fold these in half. Okay, just like that. Now, I'm not inking these. If you want to ink, the way I ink when I do this sort of thing is afterwards. That's just, to me, it's better that way. So I didn't ink any of the ones you're seeing today. Okay. All right. Now, of course, these are a little longer than this, but that's okay. Now, I am going to turn you back to the sewing machine. We are going to just do a straight stitch on this portion. Okay. And we're putting this that we folded in half over the lip of this page. And we're going to stitch along here. So I just put this over here and we're going to stitch along this line. Okay. So that's what we're going to do next. All right, here we go. Basically, it's just to doll up your pages. to make it look a little bit more than just a book page. And that's why I'm doing a straight stitch here, because we've already got our decoration, right? Our decoration is the, I'm going to do the second one the same way. Our decoration is going to be this quilt square paper. Not quilt, wallpaper. She calls it wallpaper. And listen, if you haven't gone over and looked, you need to. She has, I'll try to remember to link her below. She has anything you can imagine over there. Okay, let's go. Let's go ahead and sew straight here. These quilt squares, there's so many of them that remind me of when I was a child. And that makes it fun too. Okay. Now, we're right here. And I'm going to go ahead and trim these straight, okay? This is really going to strengthen your book page. Okay, let me move these out of the way. Okay, now, I don't usually work this fast, so I find myself making mistakes if I'm not careful. Now we're going to do a zigzag, and this is how this is looking so far. We've put them both together, wrong sides together there. I'm going to do back on the zigzag. Okay, you do back stitch here. Make sure you're holding them together well, or you can use clips that help you keep it straight. Back stitch. Try not to get too close to the edge so you have some room to trim. That's what, you know, gives you that little round corner. And I still got too close probably. These are fun to make. It was a few days ago that I made them, and I just had so much fun. I think collaging them would be fun too. Going to back stitch here at the end. All right, now let me turn you back. I'm sorry if you're getting dizzy. All right, now, we're back here, and of course my machine has to make the little corner not as pretty as it could have been. So you're trimming off all the thread from the machine, okay? And now, I'm going to do it on the right side. I'm just going to trim around. Now, be sure you don't get close to your stitching, because it will open right up. So you're just going along the edge here. And then when you get down here, you're just going to curve it around. And there you go. Isn't that cute? I'm just so proud of them. They just turned out so cute. And I'm going to show you the other ones I did like this. So we can move on to something different. Let me grab them. Okay. Now, there's lots of things you can do. Like this was the first one I stitched with the paper up here. Okay, and I use cardstock, which makes it even stronger, but this is plenty strong. Now, if you don't want to be able to see through here, and you can fold over shorter, because like if you hold this in the light, you can see where I folded the paper over. So what I would say to you is just, you know, don't do it quite so. And I had some hearts and circles on my table. So I just kind of made a flower on this one. I was playing and experimenting. I did this one longer, or deeper, I guess I should say. It was shorter and deeper, all right? Then I did this one, which is a little of both. It's shorter and it's shallow, okay? And then I just added a piece of lace, which I think turned out cute. So then I decided to really make a small one, like a, you know, out of a smaller book page. And when I was done, I thought, what can I do with this? So I took a little bit of cardstock and I just opened it up and put some lined paper on the inside of the cardstock, folded it in half. I wanted it to fit in here, okay, because it was the same paper I used to line the top. I wanted it to fit inside this pouch, and I just added lace across the bottom and brought it out, and it is very, I mean, I just had enough to tie it, and I didn't get it quite. It's hard for me to tie things that are tiny, but I just made a little bow and opened up my small pouch here and get my fingers in there and put this here just down deep enough that you can see the bow, and it gives you a cute little package look, and then you can pull it up. So you could do that with all of them if you wanted to put like a, you know, the Tim Holtz books that we made with the leftover 6x6 paper. We folded those in half. Those would fit in here nicely. Or just to make a little book. You know how you make little books to go in your journals? That would look cute too. And so on this one, since we made it out of this blue, I want to make it work with my sewing book. Now, I don't know where I'm going to put it or if I'm going to use it even. But I know these book pages are safe to use because they're Little Women. It's the Little Women. So I didn't bother reading, but otherwise you'd probably want to check it out. Now, you could like just, excuse me, let me get a drink. You could just decorate them. You could decorate them this way if it was taller. Let's see, let's find a taller one. There's a tall one. You could add some of the Simplicity Women because I am doing a sewing book and I like the way that looks. Some of them are bigger than the others, but these ladies fit nicely. And yes, I fussy cut every one of these. I don't remember where I got them. Here, let's put a different color dress there. But as you can see, this is really cute. Now, you could add a lot of different things on these. I'm not going to glue these because I want one with a strip at the top for my book. Now, some of these shorter ones may fit on here. Let's see. No, their head's sticking up, and I don't want to cut their legs off. So let's look at maybe putting a stamp on here or doing a little collage on one side. Yeah, you could collage them, or you can put some labels, or maybe both. You know, here's a blue label. It's along with a stamp, or maybe a butterfly. Or, actually, I have some of my sewing stuff over here that I'm going to be using. This came out of the Stamperia paper pad. You know, like these, you never know what to do with these, right? I never know what to do with them. So we could put one on here and put sari silk or muslin or some fabric that maybe has some blue in it. I don't know if I have any. Let me look and see if I have a little bit here that we can work with. Hold on, let me open this box. This was not planned, but here's a piece of, I'm just going to show you, like, here's a piece of burlap, which will work because I'm doing brown and So you could do it with one of these body forms, or we could put an actual card on here. I like that one, but it's not quite the one I would want. This one I like better, because she is actually matching the blue better, right? Now, I think what's cute about this, and I am going to glue this down because I like the way it looks. I think what I like about this is, I'm going to cut a little off the top of her, is that she looks like a stay-at-home mom back in the day when mamas didn't work. Do you guys remember those days? My mother never worked. You know, sometimes you wish that she did, you know, but she never worked. And she stayed home, and looking back on it, I'm so glad she did. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to put this under here. And I like this glued down. Let me get some Sari silk. Not Sari silk. Let me get some glue. And I'm just going to go like that and hope that I hit it in the right spots. If I didn't, well, whoopsie. Okay. Looks like I did get it where it needed to go. Okay, now you know that sort of thing will hold it there for me. Now, I did ink around this because you can ink around the outside of the pouches after you're done, but it's kind of hard to ink. But I just did a very light. Now, I'm not going to go all fancy on this, but I am going to add one more thing. I'm going to add this right here. I trimmed the top so it would stick on there nicely. Now, let me see if this box here next to me has some buttons. I thought if it does, I'm going to use some of these buttons. This was not planned, or I would have had them all out nice and ready. Okay, so the buttons I have in here are not really the right color of buttons that I would want to use. But right behind me is the buttons. So I'm going to grab them. See, that one's brown, and yeah, we don't want those colors. These were some other project I was working on, and I just happened to have them. Hold on, right there, don't move. Here is some blue. Doesn't take me long. I have everything color coordinated. Are you shocked? Okay, now, I just don't have much room here today. It's because I've got 50 baskets of things started. I want to show you what I do. This is kind of a new thing for me, but when I start a project, this is what I'm doing, because I've got projects lined up. I just throw everything into one of these little tubs, and I go from there because, you know, it helps me to know everything's in there. I think it over, and then I know that I've got everything like I need it to be. Now, I don't want to go crazy because it will cost too much bulk in your book. Now, I'm wanting something more on the navy side. I thought a couple buttons. If I can find, there's not that many navy in here. Sadly, let's see what that one's navy. No, that looks more, it's not, it's too fat. It's too bulky. Now, the flatter buttons work better. I just don't like them as well. Are you guys that way? They just don't, they look like they're from this time. And that one almost looks black. Let me find one quickly because I don't want to waste a lot of time on buttons. Here's a button. That's shiny. And you're probably screaming, well, hurry up. I know. What can I say? All right, so let's go with, that's too big. That's too, wrong color, wrong color. Oh, I see one. Look at these. These are perfect. Let's get one of these. These come off of one of my vintage, my little vintage tray. Okay, so let's see. I'll get it all. I like this because of the color. I don't like that it looks modern. So we're going to get rid of it. And there's one that will work right there. Okay, now you just dig a little bit. You can find it, right? Another thing I could have done, I could have put some, maybe I should have put like a brown and a blue. And see, there's some brown right here. I didn't think about that. Maybe, I like this one. I'm committed to that one. And let me see if I can find a little brown. There's a little brown. There we go. Now we're all set. We're all set and ready to go. Okay, now, what I recommend, I don't like to do buttons without putting, of course, this has got a wire around it. There we go. I like to put string in inside my buttons. So I'm just going to do a real fast one. I know this is a four hole button, but it's going to become a 2-hole button because of the sake of time. Okay. All right. Now also, I wasn't thinking, but also I'm going to put some cheesecloth behind it. Or a piece of lace or something that's the opposite of the burlap, right? Okay. I just double knot it. Now, if I were just sitting here making this, I would go ahead and put an X, like an X shape. Some people would tie bows, and I don't. I just leave a little bit of string on the end and hope for the best. Hope for the best. Okay, let me do the other one real fast. And here we go. You just go down the back and then you can go pick up the other one and go down. This one's not, my Tim Holtz scissors are acting crazy. They're cutting things. It's like you have to gnaw them off just a string or whatever, you know. You have to get the scissors and just work at it. Too much work. Okay, here we go. I bought a new one, and it's his new black scissors. I can't loosen them. They're super tight. I don't know what has happened. Okay, here we go. All right, now, that took longer than I wanted it to. What can I say? I've got the fiddly fingers. Okay, now, I'm going to get some, let me see what I got. I've got Sari silk. Let's see. Here's an old piece of, let's do that. Let's do part of that. Let's see, maybe just that, because the bulk is going to be crazy. Let's just do it like this and this. I just don't like to set things on there that, you know, might not look great. Okay, this was, I hadn't even planned this, you guys. I'm sorry. But sometimes those are the best times to do things, right? I had all this stuff laying around because I've been working on things. And been a crazy week since I started therapy. Just having time to do things. I'm just going to kind of put those like that, make it real simple. And I don't know if I brought out, oh, here's a Simplicity Vintage. Do I want that there? No, I don't like it. All right, so this one is complete. I'm not going to put a label on there or anything, but we can make a journaling card or a collaged. What I'll probably do is a collage tag that is square on top and just slide it in like a journaling card. But isn't that fun? I think that's fun. Okay, there's one thing that we got accomplished. Now, let me see how much time we've got. 35 minutes into this. We got time to do something else. All right. Now, I think you guys have got the idea down on how we make it, right? We're going to make one more small one and probably use some of this paper this time. I really like it darker. I think I'm going to use the darker paper again. There's more than one dark blue in there, but why, you know, why mess up any more than you have to? So I'm going to cut from the same paper. And I'm just kind of cutting it. I didn't really pay attention that time, but I think I got lucky. Now, after this one, I want to show you this. Now, I'm not the one to come up with that. I see Amy at Crafty Cat do that one all the time, and it's so cute. But all the years that people have been doing book pages, I'm sure someone has done this one once upon a time. But I just discovered it, and it's fun to me. You know how it is when you have something new to play with. So this time, let's do it with a music sheet, okay? Now, I'm going to do it this width, and so we only need one of these because we're going to fold it like this and then fold it under. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, we're going to fold it. Let's see. I want it to be, well, if we do it on this side, there's no words. And so that's fine. It's still going to be upside down. Okay, so let me think. Do it like this. Then you have it upright. Okay. Now, I'm going to take it up this high and then cut it right across here, so we can fold it down and make a smaller one. See, just like that. Now, I'm going to take this and open it, and I'm folding down the white portion, and I'm making it smaller this time. Okay, and then I'll just fold this one over. Just use your imagination. And so these two should match, since I folded one over. Slightly off on this end. So I'm going to fix it. It's really hard to, sometimes I wonder if the paper is square. There we go. Looks better than it did, right? Okay, so we're going to hem this while doing this, so we don't have to worry about gluing it down. You can do, well, I think I am going to glue it down. You probably wouldn't have to, but I don't want that little edge popping up right along here, you know. So I'm just going to put a little bit down. You probably could get away with not doing this, just a little heads up. But I'm doing it. For video's sake, at least, I want it to turn out right. Okay. Okay, so we're going to put this here. And, oh my goodness, that wasn't long enough. Well, we'll just cut a couple more. We want it long enough, right? Okay, I'll use that one. I'll just make a smaller one next time. Okay. You should see my side desk. It is stacked so high with tubs. I have 4 tubs, or 5 really, that I try to keep things planned. It's a new system for me to keep me organized. Because I'll lay things out and then I'll walk away from it when I have an idea. And then I'll be like, what was I going to do with this? And it won't come back to me sometimes. So maybe later it does. But anyway. Okay, so we're going to put this over here. And I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit of this off so I don't have to deal with it during the time I'm stitching. Okay, and then I'm going to put the other one on after I do this one. So we're going to stitch this down with a straight stitch. Okay, I'm going to turn you a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to sew it with my brown thread. I should have put navy in today. I didn't even think of that. But it would have looked nice too. Probably black would have been better. I don't think about those things sometimes. I just look to make sure my bobbin is full. I have certain colors that I use in my thread as far as the thread goes. And if it's in there, then I'm happy. Okay, now here is the other piece of paper. Now we're going to sew it also. Get in there. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead at this point and trim these off on the side so that whenever I sew around, you know, there's just, you know, there's a lot of ways to fold your paper, and to do this, you just, you know, have to use your imagination. Now we're going to zigzag. This is a smaller little guy, so I might make it a little bit smaller zigzag. Okay, so I want it to be where I can cut around it. I'm going to back stitch here. This is a smaller zigzag. Sometimes I just like the look of a smaller zigzag, don't you? Excuse me. Sorry if you hear the dog barking. She is sitting at the back door waiting on Rick to come in. I just pulled that way too much. And he's gonna be gone for a little bit. She has no idea what Daddy's doing. Okay, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Okay. All right, now we're going to trim around it. It's a good thing I got that a little crooked right there. Now remember, you did fold it up here, and that's okay. It's because our pages were a different shape. Let me get this here a little bit better. Yay! I like the way that turned out. Let me get this trash out of the way so we can play. Now, after we do this one, So you can see how good that turned out. I love it, you guys. Now, I do have some different ladies here. I like that, don't you? I don't want them to be identical, though, the two that I made, because I don't know which one I'll use. I don't even know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. They're already identical. And see, you could even stack them within each other, okay? There's just all kinds of things you can do with these. I think we're going to decorate this one that I had done ahead of time. We're not going to sew anymore, but let's decorate this one also. So these two, and we'll probably have time to do that before the video is at its max. Okay, so I really liked adding this. So let's see what we've got as far as trim goes. I'm going to move my sewing machine back so I have some elbow room. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is a vintage, I mean really old vintage, you know, the little flowers that they make now. Okay, they make them like this now. But this is so old. This is how they originally were made. And this is all I have left, and I just don't want to use that much at one time. So I think we're going to use the other blue here. I have green and pink. I have a lot of it. I was looking to see if I had any other blue in here. I have this blue. Or I have, where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. I have this stuff going on. I've got different trims. These are too big for what I'm thinking. Pink is really not part of the color of what I'm working on. So we could put, how about we do this? Just see what happens. I haven't used that for many things, so it's kind of new. Let me push this stuff over a little bit. So we can put this on here, and look how fun. That's a lot of fun. I like that on there. Okay, so I'm going to straighten out this edge. Make sure it's nice and straight right there. And hopefully I can do the same on this side. Yeah. I can straighten it out right there. And let me move that needle. Okay. So we're going to put this here, and we'll let this be the front. So I'm just going to get Fabri-Tac. I think it just works better. And I'm going to go just below that zigzag right there. And I'm going to do a little T at the top here on the side so that the width of it can lay on there and work. So it covers up that black line at the top. I'm going to hold it for a second. Make sure it's staying down. And also, while we're here doing these, I want to show you this real quick. Because, you know, this is what I learned from Amy at Crafty Cat. I don't know exactly how she does all of it, but here's 2 pages. Okay, and you guys have probably seen it if you've been over to her channel. I'll link her below. Okay, so then you go like this. Okay, and you before you do that, you'll want to take the top page only right here and kind of right in the middle, just slit it down a couple inches. Okay, now you can fold all of this back here, kind of like a collar. Okay, right like that. like a collar. I wanted to make sure I could show you this before the video ended. And you just want to make sure both these edges are the same. You stitch around it. You trim around it just like we did the other here on the edges. You glue these down here, these flaps, you glue them down and you stitch around it. Afterwards, when you have it all finished, you will decoupage. Now, the first thing you would decoupage is inside right here. Okay, I'm going to show you that. I'm just going to cut it as long as I can get this, because I plan on using this in my book too. And you might be saying, well, how are you going to use it? Well, you're going to have to watch, because I'm going to do it in a video. Okay, I will do the inside a solid, this solid blue, okay? And you're just going to get in, make sure you cut it to size to fit, Paula. Now I've probably cut it too much. You just want to have it in there. Yeah, now you want to be able, it wouldn't hurt to do this prior to doing the other portion, okay? And she probably does it that way. It's been a while since I've seen her do that. And then this will all be glued down. And then you not decoupage, you could decoupage, but you collage here. A lot of people like to collage before they do the trim. That's fine too. You can collage this before it's attached. For instance, glue the collar, glue this down, okay? I'm going to do it with Fabri-Tac now, but I would use a glue stick. I'm just trying to make it a little quicker here. So you glue it down like that. And if you don't want to do it once it's stitched, then you can do it like this. And also, before you stitch, you can take this and put right here. Glue it right here. So your inside will automatically, after you stitch, be glued down. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay, so then you just decoupage on here, then stitch around it, just like we did before. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. So we've cut and folded back those. I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to glue this. I do have a glue book somewhere around me, but I'm trying to save space. Now, you're going to glue this right here. Right, you want it to be even on both sides. Okay, and hopefully I cut it to one of these others. So there you go, see. I don't have it up there straight, but you can see what I'm talking about. And then you would stitch around it. Okay, this is in there. And now you'll collage on this portion and cover this up. So you'll collage all the way up. Let me get a piece of paper. If I get my fingers to work. Good grief. So you would tear your paper and collage along here. Let's just do that. I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So when I collage, I have a lot of ways of doing it. I kind of do whatever I feel at the moment. So I'm just going to tear this one end right here. I just made, I put my collage paper on copy paper. I don't put it on anything stronger. So I'm going to move this over and I'm going to show you how I do. if I want that to be as close to fitting as I can there, I will just cut a piece to fit up there. But at the same time, I will also not let it, oh crud. Sorry guys, that wasn't planned either. Let's try that again, okay? Let's do a take two. Take two. Let's try it again. Okay. We'll do it on this side since I've got this on this side. All right, so you've got this. You know it's going to fit nicely right there. And I don't like to do a lot of big pieces on something small, but I don't like to do a lot of small pieces on something big. So we'll just see how this turns out. We're just going to pull a little bit on here and move it over. Okay, here we go. So this is going to go right here. It's the right color. We're going to collage it down. Now, normally I do use a glue book so that the whole thing doesn't get wet with glue, but we don't have time to do that right now, so I'm just showing you like this. I will finish these and you'll be able to see them all when I use them. Okay, so there's that one. Now, I would still use this other one. Let me get my glue paper. I brought it over here, I thought. What did I do with it? There it is. Right there. I would still use this piece on here. I would just have to fill in the rest of the paper with whatever color I chose, you know. And this is kind of a beigey brown. And the reason I used this beigey brown is because this was the closest thing to brown in the wallpaper that I liked. So, yeah. You just do what you've got. Use what you got. Do what you can, right? So, now I'm going to move this back over here. And we're going to go ahead and put some right up here. Again, I don't want them too big. But I also, let's just do it like this. Okay. Okay. Had to get a drink. Okay. So we're going to do just like this right here. And I'm just going to cut it in a wonky way and put it there. However you do it, you can make it your own. Just because I do mine this way doesn't make it the right way. You just go out and do whatever look you like. You know, some people like to use giant pieces. Some people like to use small. I don't like to use small. I just feel like it just picks the page to death. But that's just me saying that, you know. I'm going to trim this because it's hanging off. Yeah, I like to just do all different colors, and unless I'm doing a color scheme, you know. So I thought I had some more of that blue, but I don't have it. Let me see what I can come up with here. I know I saw another piece. It's probably in this other stack. Yeah. Another thing you can do, my goal is not to finish this. I'm not worried about that, but I just wanted to give you an example of how to cut it. And you can see how it's going to turn out. It's going to look really cute when it's done. And then, of course, I'll put, you know, something on here and fix it where it'll look adorable in the book. Yeah, and if you want to see someone that's more of an expert on it, you can go over to Amy's channel, which is Crafty Cat, and watch her do it. She does it a lot, and that's where I learned how to do it. And you can actually put them on a page. If you want to put it on a page, you can. A page in the journal. And then it's used as a pocket or a tuck or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So back to what we were doing, if we have time. Oh, we don't, guys. I'm so sorry. We've run out of time. I didn't think about this taking us forever, but it does take a while to do it. And, but it's so much fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll do it again sometime. But basically, I just took a pouch, trimmed around it, and made the corners look round and smooth, and covered each side of the paper with digital paper to make it stronger, so that when you're getting in and out of here, see, like one this size, I would put in like a tag probably. So it just depends on what you want to do and how you decide to do it. All right, guys, I hope you had fun. I know I did. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.